You're listening to the IMT Show with Mike Sims. Now here is your host.
Welcome to the IMT Show. I'm your host, Mike Sims. This is a new podcast. It's an opinion piece. We're talking about various different subjects, some monologue, some dialogue, as well as interviews with people from all walks of life, including some celebrities. A little bit about IMT is that it stands for Infinite Monkey Theorem. It's a name my wife came up with that is pretty clever. And Infinite Monkey Theorem basically says that if a monkey bangs on a typewriter long enough and often enough over a long period of time, they might actually accidentally come up with the full works of Shakespeare as one of the things that possible that it could type out of it. And it's an interesting concept. It's a concept used in many different ways. Even published authors like myself will publish books in different genres and hoping that something that they write will capture people's attention and therefore drag audiences to pick up their other books. It's public speaking. It's known as the Ciceroan effect, and from the Roman Emperor Cicero, who would ramble about many different topics and things because he knew that the mob of people that are listening to him would only listen to the things that were important to them. And so as long as he kept saying all different manner of things, it appealed to everybody. So that's basically what this show will be, is that it's going to hit a variety of different subjects, and hopefully something will be of interest and you'll enjoy. A little bit about myself is, like I say, I am a published author. I've written the book Southern Cross, which is a sci-fi book, which reached #1 on Amazon sci-fi category. I'm also the author of the Vicky series of books, which is what I originally started writing. And the Vicky series of books is it's gained a lot of attention. It's an adult, hard-hitting drama, and it actually has started gaining some ground with Hollywood types, including I have now a team of people that are trying to make it a reality as a TV series. And I'll get into a little bit more about them later. But this is a little bit about me is that I was born in New Mexico in 1965. My dad was a Baptist preacher, but his day job was mostly construction work. And we moved around, moved to Texas when I was 5. Moved to Austin, area called Lago Vista, which is near Austin, where he built some houses and built a Baptist church there. And he started commuting, and because the work really got into Houston, so he started building a lot of houses here in Houston and even 18 Baptist churches here in Houston. He was I lost him when I was 16 from ALS, but he managed to move us to Houston, and which I'm still living in the area of Houston and in an area called Katy. It's been an adventure so far. It's been a journey in my life, and I've got a lot of different things to talk about. I've done a number of different things. My day job is I do IT work, but I enjoy writing books. I've written short stories since I was a teen, and didn't really publish till 2014. And that was because I really didn't know where to go, what to do about writing books. And I eventually self-published one, and then it was picked up by a publisher, and that publisher went under. But beforehand, I managed to create my own publishing company and imprint called Mazeroff.net, and started developing on my own. And I have a lot of stories to write, a lot of books to publish. I've met a lot of interesting people that have helped and even harmed along the way in that respect. And we'll get into that quite a bit later. But I've got to meet, like I said, got to meet some very interesting people, and I plan to interview a number of authors and people and editors, people in the industry. There's a lot of pitfalls in the publishing industry, but that's my mainstay right now, and what I plan to do quite a bit. But what I like to, like I said, a little bit about me is that I moved to, I graduated from New Caney High School, which is just north of Houston, and bounced around, did construction work, and worked various jobs, Radio Shack and security guard and whatnot, and eventually Dell Computers. I've always had a, kind of a talent, I guess, for computers. And my first real IT job actually was a summer job in eighth grade for working on TI 990s and 771 computers, which were $10,000 computers at the time. And this is, before Microsoft and Windows and that sort of thing. They had not come on the horizon yet, but it was quite a experience. I learned basic programming while I was in that summer job, and even created a couple games, a blackjack game and a Star Wars game. It's been interesting. With me today is, on my first interviews, is my wife Melinda and my daughter Maribeth. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Well, this has been an interesting journey for all of us, and I wanted to bring them first on because without them, I wouldn't have been able to get any of this done at all. And so I'm really appreciative of everything they've done for me and standing behind me on everything. So thank you guys.
No, thank you for all your hard work.
So our daughter Maribeth, who's turning 18 pretty soon, Ashley has published 3 books and working on a 4th one. So Maribeth, tell us a little bit about your books.
Well, the 3 books are in a series. The first one is Germs, the second one is The Gift, and the third one is Field Trip Chaos. The sci-fi novel is a new one I'm working on. It's called Apocalyptic 193.
And what's that going to be sort of about, without giving too much away?
Well, it's about a bunch of scientists having to figure out what's wrong with their sun by traveling to a new system.
Well, I have read some of the initial writings Maribeth has on the book, and I have to tell you, it's really good. It's very impressive, and I think it's going to be as good as anything out there. And I might be biased, but that's my opinion. What do you think, Melinda?
I think so. She seems to have your talent.
Well, it's I hope she has a lot more than that. but she's done very well, and I'm very impressed. We've done some book signings, and she's actually sold quite a few of her books, and at the Rice Harvest Festival and other places. So very impressive, Maribeth. She also has a little jewelry business she does on the side, making jewelry out of computer parts. And she's actually on Facebook with this project. And tell us a little bit about it, Maribeth.
Well, I take computers or any electronic I get my hands on, and I cut it up into little pieces, paint it, glitter it, into all kinds of different styles. And then I use rubber bands or beads for the necklace part. This is one of them.
Don't forget to subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Yeah. She does have a YouTube channel.
Maribeth, what's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is called Smart Parts.
Yeah. So you can see all that, and can actually order some off of her Facebook page. It's MBS Smart Parts. And so it's an enterprising girl.
Yes. She's always been very entrepreneurial.
Oh, yeah. Now, Melinda's been the behind the scenes, has been one of the driving forces in marketing with my books, and that's she's got a lot of credential with University of Houston on marketing with a degree, and so we've been using that education to the fullest that we can. And so, tell us a little bit, Melinda, about what we're doing here and what we hope to accomplish.
Well, our main business is selling books. There are some positive offshoots of that, but it's important that Mike's a gifted storyteller, and his stories are reflective of that. And so it's important, in my opinion, that it's his legacy that these stories get out there and people read them and enjoy them. I read each one, and I usually laugh and cry. So it's kind of bipolar-ish, but it's enjoyable. And then we also represent several other authors. Maribeth, of course, and then L.L. Neal. She's with a different publisher because we do publish our own books for several different reasons. One, you have total control over it, and you're not, and then of course the monetary aspects. It's more beneficial to publish your own because you're on top of the royalties and such, whereas
Right.
before we were with the publisher and the royalties became an issue because oftentimes they couldn't account for the books that were sold, and we could tell books were sold.
Yeah.
But regardless, we again, L.L. Neal is one of our authors that we market for, and she has some interesting books in her own right. Some of them are really racy, so definitely for the over 18 crowd, but she has a Regency series, and then she has an exciting new genre, which I think is going to be huge. She writes trailer park romance novels. And again, they are racy, definitely for the over 18, and there's always a tornado, so they're interesting, they're funny. So hopefully, we'll do that. And then we have an association with Jack O'Halloran and his book, Family Legacy, which
Right.
in itself is an awesome, awesome book. And there's some other exciting things coming. And hopefully one of the things that we're hoping for is that Mike's books become popular enough to where either a TV series or a movie is made. For example, his Vicky character, she's an extremely powerful woman who's endured so much. Her story is so heartfelt, and there's humor in it. I mean, it's a really good read. And then the novel Southern Cross. Southern Cross, again, is a wonderful, wonderful story. It's appropriate for every age. It's about a little boy, Miguel, and his dreams, and how everybody ignores him until suddenly his passion and his dreams have a meaning. And that journey is awesome. And all of you, I urge you all to read these books. And, Maribeth.
And I did actually feature Vicky briefly in Southern Cross to kind of cross-pollinate the books, even though the Southern Cross is really not part of the Vicky series. And we actually have a Vicky team, which, Melinda is principally on and behind, but we also have some other people that have joined that team. And one is my longtime friend, Nicole Andani, that is Vice President of Marketing for Northern Response. They handle the products like P90X and ShamWow and so forth, and numerous other products, DRTV, Direct Response Company. And she's been very helpful. She even helped do some of the editing in the original book, Victim, which was the first book I written. And then added on to that as the books became translated in different languages and audiobooks. I met Lenny Rico, and Lenny is a actress that's been in Hollywood for a while now, and she just did a movie with Morgan Freeman and John Travolta called The Poison Rose. She did my book in Spanish audiobook, and did an excellent job on it. And she introduced me to Barney Cohen, which is a longtime producer. Barney is executive produced the movie Guernica World War II movie, as well as wrote for movies like Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and a number of other things, Disney and a number of things. He wrote a pitch screenplay for The Lazarus Game, which is a sub-story in the book Valkyrie, as well as been a extremely sage advisor on the torrential waters of Hollywood and the Hollywood scene. And recently added on, like Melinda mentioned, Jack O'Halloran has joined the board, and he has played Don, the character in the 80s Superman movies. He also wrote his book Family Legacy, which I'm helping to pitch as a movie as well, which is a book based on the mob aspect of the JFK assassination, mostly. A very interesting book indeed.
Oh yes, if you want to know what happened, read that book.
Oh yeah, it's very compelling. It's considered a fictional memoir, but it's things that he had overheard or understood living in that environment. He's got a very interesting family history as well. You need to look him up, and we're glad to have him on board. We'll be hopefully be interviewing him pretty soon as well as all the others. Most recently, we've added on was Cindy Morgan of Caddyshack and Tron fame. And very interesting, very smart lady, and I'm very very happy to have everybody aboard. It's we've got a great team, and they're and I thank them all, and hopefully we'll have them all on here pretty soon talking about their experiences. So
That would be great. One of the things that I would like to do is a little segment called Everybody Has a Story. And that plays back into what our podcast is called, IMT, which stands for
Infinite Monkey Theorem, which I talked about earlier. It's a variety of different subjects, and we want to talk to people of all different walks of life, and because everybody has an interesting story. They really do.
Yes. And I think everybody needs to be heard.
Yeah.
That's important.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating, the stories. It's there's I've got plans to to do some biographies later, and there's some amazing stories out there that people have lived through and gone through. I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm going to be sharing some of that. But it's just unbelievable, the things that people actually have experienced and what they've come out with it, from their
Yes.
experiences.
Yes. And I just think during this time of COVID, I think this would be even more helpful to people to know that everybody is out there and probably has gone through a lot of what everybody else has gone through. And now is the time we all need to pull together.
Yeah.
And share. We need to love each other. And I think that's important.
Yeah, exactly. It's we need to be more together and avoid the dividers and get and find the common ground, and even the differences. We all have differences, and it doesn't matter. We need to respect them and accept them, and realize that those differences, some of them may be right, we may be wrong. We have to look at everything.
Well, even then, everybody's story you need to appreciate, because there's always something to learn from everyone else. And we never stop learning.
Right. So it's, hopefully this will be a benefit. Like I say, it's hence the name IMT, is that it's a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and you pick what you want out of it, and hopefully it's a use to you, and who knows, maybe one of you will be interviewed by us. We will pay attention to comments. So
yeah, and if you want to be interviewed, shoot us an email at books@mybooks.com, Mazaroth.net, MAZZAROTH.net. And we'll look at that, And just on a personal note, Mike and I have been married 23 years. And, Maribeth's our only child. And I'm a second wife, so he has some interesting stories. He probably can't share, but
Well, we'll share quite a bit, and it's going to be interesting, and hopefully it'll be interest to you. But we'll get into all that later. But we also the website Mazaroth.net/IMT is the official show in there, and on the website itself Mazaroth.net, you can see the entire Vicky team, and you can see the other authors and more about the books I've written, and see if they're interested. There's sample pages on there and where to get them. And I hope you will take a look.
and he'll sign your books too, and so will Maribeth. And I'm sure any of the other authors, Laura L. Neal will, and for sure. And what else was I going to say? Sorry, lost my train of thought.
That's all right. But it's all on there. There's quite a bit of information. There's even celebrity shout outs and videos and interviews I've done in other places with other people, including Hollywood people. So I invite you to take a listen and take a look, see what you think.
Oh, I know what I was going to mention. I know several other people that have written books, and maybe we can hear about them. And one of them is about raising a child with, ADD. And then another friend, I'm not quite sure what her book is, but I'll have to check it out with her. And then we need to do a shout out to Inklings Publishings.
Yeah. Fern Brady at Inklings is a tremendous source if you're trying to get started or you already have started in the publishing game. Inklings is a small press publisher. Fern is one of the best people you'll know. I mean, she's on your side and she'll take care of you. And if she accepts your manuscript, you'll do well. I mean, you have the best shot at it. It's hard to get books out there. It's hard to get them known and get known as an author. And so you need all the help you get. And she has a lot of years of experience, and hopefully we'll have her interviewed here, and she can talk a little bit more about that.
And to go, what is her website, Mike?
It's inklingspublishing.com.
And check out the books she's already publishing too, because these are authors that they're good books. And we need to read more. That's another thing. Only 4% of Americans read books. We need to increase that number.
Right.
And I mean, right now is the time to expand your mind. Yeah.
And it puts you, reading books puts you in the mind of the author and their viewpoints, and that helps you. It's a tremendous thing. And there are a lot of countries that have 10% readership. They have a lot more readership. So it's something that needs to be encouraged more and brought up more, especially in this, in the TV generation and of course podcast generation. But that's what we're here for.
Yeah. And I mean, as I said before, Mike is a wonderful storyteller. So is Maribeth. And this isn't like reading the dictionary. These are enjoyable books, and hopefully you'll enjoy them and gain some sort of, even a little bit of knowledge out of them. And Mike will, if you're reading his book and you don't agree with something, Mike will discuss it with you.
And I've had people come at me, and criticize every point and so forth. And we've discussed it, and I've listened to them, and some of them have actually become beta readers. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. If you have any questions, drop us an email. books@mazaroth.net.
Well, it's, you have any, Maribeth, you have any thoughts you want to share before we leave the interview?
I don't think so.
Tell them again about your jewelry.
Well, I've been working on it for a few years now. It's pretty easy at times, depending on the piece I make. I make all types of different styles. Right now, I'm working on Christmas jewelry. I think it looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting what she's making, and that they're made out of computer parts. It's I guess it's called upcycling. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
So very interesting.
Oh, yes. The artistic side of her comes out in that.
Oh yeah, always has been. I want to thank you guys for being on my first pilot episode interviewed. And we're gonna, up next, I'm gonna show you a video from Burton Gilliam, who played Lyle on Blazing Saddles, and for your enjoyment. And then we'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, Mike Sims, Burton Gilliam here. Lyle, Blazing Saddles, yeah, you got it. Listen, this first part is for Melinda. Melinda, Doc Mike a day's pay for napping on the job. Now listen, Mikey, get those Vicky series books done for your readers. Get them done, or I'm gonna have to give you to Mongo. And Mongo only pawn in Game of Life. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, big congrats, Mike. Your books are gonna be a TV series. I know it. I forecast it here. Vicky will be blazing. Vicky rode a blazing saddle. She wore a shining star.
And we're back. Burton is an interesting character. I got to tell you, I enjoyed him in Blazing Saddles. It's one of the most irreverent movies that Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor came up with. But it's a classic. I mean, it's a movie that, you know, it wouldn't be made today, but it blasted through a lot of the barriers and issues that we have, and there's a lot of tension and issues right now. And there's a lot of respect and things that need to be changed and done. But one thing about humor is that it explodes those barriers. It allows us to laugh and see things differently and enjoy things. You can get away with things in comedy that you can't get away with in serious dialogue or in other means. But Burton is a really cool guy. He's on Cameo, which is a very interesting service that allows you to reach out to celebrities and get some of their endorsements or birthday wishes or whatever. And Burton is definitely worth their money. He is. I encourage you to go in there and hire him for whatever. He will give you it all, as you can see. So thank you, Burton, for what you did. And maybe we'll have you on the show one day, you know, we'll see. But it would definitely be an honor.
Thank you for listening to the IMT show with Mike Sims. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The IMT show is an opinion show and not to be taken as serious personal, legal, tax or financial advice. It is meant as entertainment only. IMT show, Mazeroff for Mike Sims is not responsible for ad content. For more information on show schedules and content, visit www.mazeroff.net/IMT.